Hi guys. So I think it goes without saying, none of us actually wants to be angry. We'd all like to be kinder, more compassionate, forgiving, and understanding people. And yet life can make this so goddamn challenging. I mean, literally we are continuously under stress. And not only that, oftentimes the people who are closest to us do things that are extremely hurtful, and it can be very hard to practice understanding and forgiveness. And yet, it's one of the most powerful tools you have available to you when it comes to creating a greater peace of mind. If you can recognize in a person that oftentimes a lot of their behaviors, the ways that they think, and the things that they say are driven from a place of pain and suffering, it makes life so much easier because ultimately it allows you to remove yourself from the impact that it has on you, so you're not as easily offended, you're not as easily hurt by things. And this isn't condoning bad behaviors. I mean, ultimately, if a behavior is completely out of line, then obviously that needs to be rectified. And this doesn't mean that you don't tackle things or have, difficult conversations. What it does mean is that you don't take other people's behaviors as a reflection on yourself or personally in any way, shape, or form. And I see this so often in clients. People will come to me and they'll feel so ashamed of the way that they are acting because they have been identifying themselves with their suffering and their pain. They have started recognizing themselves as the same as their behaviors. And ultimately, in order to be able to heal, you need to be able to recognize that the person is very separate from the behavior. And I mean, this has been such a powerful tool for me on a personal level. I mean, oftentimes there has been things, and there continues to be to this day, things that I say or things that I do or ways that I act that are very much a result of pain or suffering or struggle internally, and I feel awful about them. And it's horrendous because when you feel that guilt, when you feel that shame, it's almost like a double whammy. I mean, you're literally beating yourself up and you're already in pain anyway, so you're struggling twice, you're suffering twice. And if you're able to forgive yourself, if you're able to recognize that it comes from a place of suffering, which ultimately you are responsible for dealing with, but being able to accept that you did what you did from a place of pain, it makes it easier to move past those behaviors. It makes it easier to tackle them, because ultimately, if you're always beating yourself up, it makes it very difficult for you to change. It makes it very difficult for you to practice self-acceptance and self-awareness, because all you are seeing are the bad parts. And the same, as I said, with the other people in your life. If you're just looking at them and thinking, what on earth are they at? As opposed to being like, okay, do you know what? I don't have to sit in their vicinity, but I recognize that they're in pain right now, and I'll come back to them at a later time when they've calmed down, and maybe I might be able to help them through this painful moment. And it takes a lot of strength, it takes a lot of practice to put this into place. But ultimately, I always talk about Brene Brown. She says that being able to assume that everyone is doing their absolute best with the resources that they have at all times is one of the kindest ways you can have of living, because ultimately, as I said, it reduces the pain and the hurt you receive as the result of other people's behaviour. And it's worth noting as well, if you are struggling with the pain and you're struggling with the suffering that you're experiencing, that oftentimes our pain and suffering is what cracks us open. It what allows the light that to come in. It what allows us to grow and to become stronger, and can oftentimes be our greatest asset if we can just learn to sit with it, to tolerate it, and to work through it. If this resonates with you, if you are struggling with some sort of internal suffering and it's causing you to lash out, or it's causing you to not show up for people the way that you would like to, or indeed not show up for yourself, get in touch with me on the website. It's fundamentals.ie. You'll also catch lots of content on my YouTube channel, which is Fiona Feely. Loads there on mental health, how to live a more fulfilling life, ways of dealing with anxiety, and how to just feel more accepting of the self.